this is in response to the girl having high subscriber counts. So they're like, okay, we can't attack the subscriber count, so we're gonna attack something else. Then they start pulling out all of these different like subjective metrics. Now they're like, oh no, it's actually CCV that counts. And if they can't attack the CCV, they're like, it's not the CCV that matter, it's the merch sales and how much they're earning. These people are sad. Like, no matter how much they claim to be, whatever they claim to be IRL, if you're spending so much time on trying to make people miserable on social media, you're just not living a fulfilling life. The justice, like, drama, it's not really drama, it's more like people being annoying. You guys know that one of the main theme of my channel, and something that I've always been interested in, because it's it goes into the psychology section of things, and it's like parasocial relationships, and it's not something that other channels have covered at all. I covered one post of a unicorn on my Twitter account, and since that day, I keep having their posts pop up on my feed because Elon Musk messed up the algorithm. So they're just like, I open Twitter and they're in my face. And so I can't help but seeing them now. So I did a little digging because I was intrigued by this whole phenomenon. And I found out that Elizabeth is actually getting a lot of flack from them because she's interacting a lot with Holostars. And then I found like an instance where they hated on ASCII from JP, and a bunch of other anecdotes. But I also want to go into a unicorn PSA and put some eye on my dots. That being said, I do want to make some difference between the different genre of fan, because being a unicorn, it's a word with a negative connotation, okay? Calling somebody a unicorn is a bit like calling somebody an incel, right? You're not telling them that to be nice to them. You're kind of telling them that to insult them. But that being said, not all unicorns are necessarily bad people. A lot of them are just quiet, or maybe they don't have Twitter or they don't have social media. But it's really like the loud ones and the ones that are demanding stuff that are mostly annoying. I want to say at Van Debut, almost no backlash. I wonder why. Like, come on, Hololive ID is chill and JP members open to mail. EN is the issue. Listen, I can't really speak for JP. I've covered the story of Toa. So Toa is a Hololive member that people heard a male voice on stream, and her fan base kind of freaked out, or at least that was the story people were saying in NA. Looking into it more, and in my video I found more research, I didn't find so much proof of gachikois and unicorns in her fan base. It was more so people that were mad because she kind of got scared when it happened, and she kind of made up a lie, but the lie wasn't convincing and it didn't make sense. But since that day, she kind of purged all of the people that were annoying in her fan base and the really demanding fans, and now she collabs with everybody. She's one of the talents that has the most like freedom, and she's collabed with a wide brush of people. So what's a unicorn? Well, the word derives from the myth of the unicorn, because in the medieval time, the myth says that only virgins could be carried by a unicorn. But in the VTubing world, it's really a term that's exclusive to the VTubing world. It describes a person who holds the idol and idol culture sacred to an extreme degree. It's a faction or a person that wants to protect the purity of an idol to religious degrees. The mythological meaning behind the unicorn is purity and innocence, often connected with female virgins. Unicorns do not want their favorite streamer to collaborate with the opposite sex. They are one of the most passionate and loud supporters of a VTuber. But this can also turn them into haters if their demands are not met. And I found an interview called "I Don't Want Them to Collab with Man," and it's an interview with a unicorn, and it's so fascinating. I want us to go over this interview later. Bro, JP is way worse with gachikois. The last one I saw is with Mitsuru and GTA. People ate that dude she was joking around with. I don't doubt that JP has their own unicorns. Like, the Japan setting, like the socio-economical setting, makes it so that people spend a lot of time alone and a lot of time on their screen, and they're developing a lot of like parasocial relationships with streamers. Not always a negative relationship, mind you, just there's a lot of connections between fans and streamers there, and they take things to an extreme sometimes. Like the more people you have watching streams, the more extremes you're gonna get, right? So let's break down a few things before we start. Then I'll get into what I found. Unicorns, used to describe a fan that doesn't want their Oshi to interact with the opposite gender on stream. Okay, that part is pretty clear, I think. And it's different than a gachikoi. A gachikoi is somebody that is in love with a streamer, and that's also a term that's unique to VTubing. But unicorns mostly have a negative connotation. But parasocial relationship don't necessarily have a negative connotation. It's not inherently negative, okay? Not every parasocial relationship is negative. Of course, we usually have examples of negative ones, and we usually talk about negative ones, right? Because that's the most extreme stuff. That's the stuff that gets talked about. But it's also not inherently romantic. Not every, like there's some streamers that I admire. I'm not necessarily in love with them. I don't necessarily see myself in a romantic way with them. It's more so the, you know, the great friend parasocial relationship kind. Or maybe you're watching a video one day and you're like, I wonder what X streamer thinks about this. When you start to ask yourself, what this person that doesn't know you thinks about something, that's a kind of parasocial relationship. It's used to describe a one-sided relationship with a person, a content creator, a celebrity, or even a fictional character. Like people have parasocial relationships with anime characters sometimes. And unicorns need not to be confused, because I've seen this confused a lot during my research, with people that simply have a preference towards watching a gender or another. If somebody says, well, I only watch female streamers because that's what I like, I don't really care if they collab with the other gender, but I'm not gonna watch it. Like I'm not gonna watch any of the HoloStars because blah blah, I don't know, I prefer watching females. I just find them more entertaining. That's on you, that's fine. That's just a preference. That's different than a unicorn. And it's not inherently for romantic reasons, and it's also not unique to VTubing. So this guy is an example of an old unicorn. That's an old post. That was a reply to Crony. When Crony was vocal about wanting to be able to collab with male, she's like, I don't want to be controlled by my fan base. Thing is, as a streamer, from time to time, you're gonna have to do things that kind of segment off parts of your fan base if that's not the kind of fan base that you want to cultivate. And that's okay. Like maybe when you make a statement such as this, you lose a little fans. Let's say you lose 200 fans. Well, if you kept on pretending you were somebody that you were not, later on when there's a backlash or a controversy, those 200 fans would get added to the ones that were already mad. So you'd have an even more bigger backlash on your hand. Now, on the other hand, it's totally fine if you don't want to collab with males. Like if you think it's a headache or you don't find it that interesting, you don't think it's worth the backlash that your fans are gonna get, I'm also okay with that. And I think that's fine, that's their choice. But if it's something if there is something that is truly valuable to you, that really doesn't fit with your core values and that doesn't sit right with you, I think it's important to sometimes state your mind. And not related to parasocial relationship, but you see me doing that kind of thing sometimes. I give my opinion a lot lately, even though I know it's gonna piss off some people, because once you're a content creator and people watch you a lot, they start to ascribe certain values or they start imagining you a certain way, and the more you don't express yourself because you're afraid of backlash, you're afraid of turning around those people, the bigger the gap between your real self and your projected self becomes. And then suddenly you find yourself with, when people find out that you're not the way that they thought you were, then it's gonna be a bigger problem than intended. Now there's backlash with Hololive Justice. It's surprising. I know it's super surprising because everybody loves them, right? Super talented, doing super well in terms of numbers, getting talked a lot on social media. So how did it all start? First of all, this is what got them on my feed, okay? It was this post. Gora had her birthday celebration and Hololive production English, not even her. Gerard replied to that post with a happy birthday, and then all the unicorns came out of the woodworks. And as you're gonna see in the following post, they really dislike Gerard, okay? And the next post is gonna be about HoloJustice. So this person, Bob 4422444 says, it's kind of funny that the only two Holostars stupid enough to spam this stuff towards talents that want nothing to do with them are Filipino. Starting to understand why Filipino women do anything and everything in their power to marry someone from a different country? What? Why does this have even 19 likes? This is prosperous. Gura does not follow and interact with Holostars. If you watch her, you would know how she wants to handle her career. Which, similar to most Hololive senpai, you're putting her on the spot and annoying the fans. Think of your actions and how it affect other people. Stop being dumb. Gura doesn't even know you exist, bro. And if she actually did, she wouldn't like you one bit. Stop begging. She's not gonna respond. Philippine has no shame. Perhaps he was secretly our guy all along, acting so obnoxious even... Wait, is this a slur? Homo sister, like ERB, might get a reality check with don't meet your heroes kind of moment and change her ways. So here, she ruffled some feathers because she's been interacting with the Holostars a lot. Really makes no sense why he's giving advice to someone that already reached heights he's never even going to see in his career. What a dumbass. It's hilarious that Holostars with viewership not commensurate with their milestones are saying this to someone who has more than twice as many subscribers as they do. And this is the reason why they're mad. It's like all of those little interaction, and also I think there was a Minecraft stream where they kept like mentioning each other. She's replying to Crimson Rose here. Absolutely fab hearing you sing. Nice one, senpai. I'm using sheer willpower to keep my skin from leaping off my body in agony at being called senpai. But I am also incredibly excited to see someone else type out nice. Thank you. Kohai? Oh, I see. Senpai. Okay, I got this twice. And then here, Gerard posted his 100k achievement. So on YouTube, once you get 100k subscribers, you receive sort of a trophy from YouTube. I mean, you guys know about this. That's the one Niji Sanji doesn't get. And he says, the winds just can't stop. Forgive the scuff. My table was a bit messy, so I had to place it on the yoga mat. I got my play button. Thank you, sorority. And Elizabeth replies, a result of your hard work and passion. Oh ho ho. I guess that's the Ojo-sama laugh. Liz being super fucking based before debut. She talked Holostars before debut. She doodles Holostars on debut. Yes, that was another reason, is because she doodled Flayon on her debut. And then now talked then and got to their highest sub to all. She got to the highest subs of HoloJustice despite that based. So this one is a Japanese unicorn that I found in the wild, and I translated his tweet. Because people keep saying that it's the same like guys, which might be a vocal minority that's solely on Twitter, but I found unicorns like all over the place. I found some on 4chan, I found some on Reddit, I found an interview for unicorn, then I found some in the YouTube comments, I found some on Twitter, and I have 65 slides, guys. I have 65 slides of unicorn pictures in this stream. It seems that a guy from Holostars EN has started interacting with a newcomer to Hololive EN, but Gerard T. Rexford made it clear on a stream that he would never collaborate with her, so it's probably okay to just be cautious about the content of the interaction. Celebrating birthdays is something all Hololives do by replying to comments, so I guess it's within the acceptable range. This guy's a moderate, but depending on the content, it could be a yellow card. And the person is like, Gerard already does collabs with other genders, sadly. ERB just wants to congratulate him. Dino replied by giving him advice out of fucking nowhere. He gives an advice to the girl who are more famous than him. The literal advice is about numbers. Loki telling ERB gets hers without doing a thing, while he gets his by grinding and all. They're reading a little too much into it. Because he said this, in my language, grindset is mindset. Congrats on the debut, I'll reward you with my wisdom. And he kind of says like, show them who you really are. And then this person quote RTs him saying, this has to be a parody, some nobody shitter celebrating 100k after 8 months. Bro, 100k after 8 months is really good, by the way. It's really good. Giving advice career to Holo, well, it's her fault for calling him a senpai. But still, dude has zero shame. What do you mean it's her fault for calling him a senpai? He's older than her. Isn't it a senpai automatically? Okay, so there's been a couple of Reddit threads. I was gone for a while. What's her deal? Why are Holo Bros spitting on her? Well, we don't know if it's all Holo Bros, really. I saw a few, or actually a lot of comments. The wrath is that some of them, it's like, Niji sis. I don't know if that's true. It's probably a mix of both. So now the big thing, well, that they're LARPing on in regards to Elizabeth is that Elizabeth had an interaction on Twitter with Sora where she didn't call her senpai. She just said Sora. And so they got really upset again because, as this guy says, addressing Stars member Bethel Senpai, Gerard Senpai, addressing the literal Dia Senpai of EN, Sora. And Elizabeth replies to that comment, "My deepest apologies to Sora Senpai. I was quite sad in the moment. It slipped my mind while writing. I'll try not to have that happening again when referring to all my senpais. I respect all my senpais from Hololive, Holostars, Uproar, and Regloss." It's sweet that she actually just took the time to include everybody in that tweet. Make sure no Gen was left out. Senpai is used as a sign of seniority, usually professional or academic. Example, someone who has been in a workplace longer or is in a higher position. Right, exactly. That's why it would make sense. It would make sense why Elizabeth calls Jura Senpai. Okay, so now I'll go over a few reactions and comment on that. 10 more months in Vtuber training or leave Twitter to your manager is what they're telling her for replying to that dude. Replying with in a really earnest way. And they just QRT her with the most hateful stuff, man. Actually insane. In other words, more subsidies for the failed Stars branch. And this 4chan comment says, "You forgot one of the most infuriating and laughable reason ERB," that's Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, for those who don't know. She said that Holostar also paved the way for Hololife's success. I haven't heard her say that yet. Have you guys heard her say that? Like, if you thought this bitch was R-word, then by the time you realize she addressed the reason there is a Hololive in the first place as just Sora when she herself called the Star senpais and explicitly said, "You all deserve to be called senpais," you'll notice how fucking malicious she is. Like I said, these guys are just, they're reading way too much into really simple, wholesome interactions. Except Lamau, she's, I don't know what that word means. Except she herself calls the Star senpais and told them that they deserve to be called as such. But when the actual fucking senpai of everything comes, she just gives her a bland Sora. Fuck off. She said all her senpais paved the road for her. And then from that, they twisted this into her saying that Holostars paved the way for Hololife's success. That's how deranged they are. And okay, so a few characteristics of those type of unicorns. One, obviously they hate when their female streamers, or she call it whatever, interact with male. Two, they dislike also anything else that would somewhat quote unquote taint their purity, which means they also believe that every time one of these girls makes a mistake, it reflects bad on the rest of the company and is gonna affect the Hololive quote-unquote brand. And that's a sentiment you're gonna see over and over again in these comments. And the other thing is they also hate Niji Sanji like a lot, so they're super tribalistic. And a lot of the time they'll insult people by comparing them to Niji Sanji. So this person is saying she's acting exactly like a Niji EN member would. And they extracted like her chat interactions in somebody's stream. "You do shush, whatevs, call him small D, question mark. Okay, if I can call you small D instead, Lil D, small D. Okay, we swap senpai with Lil D then. Okay, Lil D. How awkward would it be if a small corpo collabed with a homo and then joined Hololive and completely ghosted that person?" I don't know if they're referring to somebody here actually. So Anon here posted, "We won! Monetization stream postponed! ERB making that weird post about beloved one leaving. That was in reference to Oli, by the way, not you successfully bullying her. Gigi saying she's waiting for some confirmation before posting her schedule. Still no ERB schedule, no justice call. ERB is getting terminated or graduated this week. They're actually making shit up out of thin air. Okay, I'm gonna go over what happened with Aski. I'm just gonna play the clip. Fuck it. All right. So you guys saw the two guys in the back here, right? The musicians here, they're obviously male, and they're, you know, it's a live band basically. And you would think, what a beautiful concert. Surely no one will get mad at this. What could somebody possibly see this and get upset at? Wrong! You would be wrong. Because they got mad at that too. Not even Aski is safe was the name of the thread. What makes them not understand the one thing fans don't like? We are idol fans. They are idols. Why present yourself with other than girls on stream? I don't understand. Bro, she's probably not even in the same room as them. Like, all right, this is back to Hololive Justice. Jan, Homo Collabor won again. What? I don't know why it's their obsession with always saying that word. When will Unicorn start watching stream? I feel bad for the red woman. Even the red woman. It's like they're talking about the red woman from Game of Thrones. I feel bad for the red woman even though I'm a unicorn. A lot of suffering will await her if she doesn't realize her mistakes. Speaking as someone with no horse in the Unity, so there's this term that they call like the Unity people, and it's the people that are really vocal about the talents wanting to collab. They want the talents to collab with the other genders, and the unique cuck race that this guy is mentioning here, I guess he's referring to the unicorns. She's extremely autistic and desperate for dick. She ruins the streams she's chatting in because she just won't stop talking. Maybe she's a homo beggar with a secret agenda to ruin CG DCT in Hololive. Maybe she's not. I'm not certain yet. This guy's writing a fanfiction. What is certain, however, is that she's annoying and distracting while in others' members' chat. So upset because she types too much. Having a parasite that spams up the chat box is exactly what Holostar fans deserve. In a few months, you'll be begging for her to stick to her own gender. And basically people are mad because they're pulling good numbers, and they have this whole theory that their numbers will dwindle if they collab with a male. Okay, so this other person, basically they're posting that picture to signify that they got a ton of subs. Like, seriously, that's a lot for a debut. And they're saying, I thought interacting with stars was supposed to be poison. Sag, I want to contribute by saying she has come across as super obnoxious. Even if now they're just trying to nitpick at like what they think is her flaws, because let's be real, they just dislike her. Even if she is professionally trained in vocals, her going full blast the entire karaoke was cringe, and she would be okay if she didn't overdo it. She was also super loud in the collab, also snorting laugh debuff. I like the snorting laugh. I think it's really cute. I also think it's cute when Shy Lily does it. And I think she's a really good singer. Am I wrong to believe that? I thought most people also thought that she's a really good singer, and I saw a lot of comments flaming her singing. Kiara and Mori seem super introverted in comparison to her. I wonder what the managers were thinking onboarding her with the other talents. Numbers are high, seed thread created. Numbers are low, seed thread created anyways. I put that in because it totally summarizes the unicorn thing. Legit, if the numbers are high, they get mad. If the numbers are low, they're like, haha, that's why your numbers are low. We told you not to do that and you did it anyway. Sub count is meaningless, especially when it's days after a debut and one had a clear advantage from being leader and first debut. Stream shows ERB is actually bottom half. So now this is the whole part where they're trying to justify things by saying, no, she's not pulling good numbers. And the other thing I see a lot is that they claim that this new gen is not pulling good numbers and Hololive shouldn't have released them. They should have waited. And they're like, in the investor meeting, they totally said they would stop pumping out gen. I feel like this was rushed and they're going to be sucking resources from the rest of the Hololive. This is bad. Bah! Dude is coping. Don't get lost in the sauce. 4chan is a vocal minority. Right, and also it's an anonymous website, and I do feel like sometimes, because lately, during the whole Niji Sanji saga especially, there's been a few 4chan rad that came out to be true. There's a lot more casual viewers that are browsing 4chan now, and sometimes they think that 4chan is... They listen too much to the criticism on 4chan, but let's remember that there's no way for us to know that a lot of these comments could also be done by the same person. Like, there's this whole thing on 4chan called false flagging, and some of these threads even, I don't think they're false flagging actually, but some comments are definitely bait, and some of these threads were replied by some other users and called out for being false flagging, and they believe that a Niji's sister is actually doing that, like some kind of psyop to make the Hololive members look bad, or the Hololive fans look bad. I don't know. I mean, it could be possible, I suppose. I've also seen these exact like interactions and lines of thinking in my comment section on my videos, on Twitter. Even in replies to my posts on Twitter, I've seen these guys and their Hololive fans, because, yeah, so, yeah, it's probably a mix of both, you know? Despite Unikek, they love using that kek thing. It's like, kek means lol, right? It's like uni-lol molding. She is proving fans actually want unity among all of Hololive production. So this person is pro-collabing. This person replied, fact, Mori was averaging 12,000 on her stream in January 2022 before the Conor posting happened and her CCV tanked. No, that's not really true. Crony could get 20k on a buff stream in 2022 before she relentlessly homo collabed with Vesper and tanked her numbers. Amelia numbers are so bad after the collabs that she's basically been retired for a year. That's not why she's taking a break. Bae sucked off the guys and her CCV has always sucked as a result. Fact, all of the aforementioned have shit merch sales now. How do you know that? Do you have access to the merch sale stats? Gura, Iris Fauna, and Mume never collab and still tower over those girls in CCV and merch sales because of it. Mume did a collab, pretty sure. You do not watch streams. You do not buy merch. Your business model would kill Hololive. I think your business model would kill Hololive. The only thing you R-word ever do is follow on Twitter and maybe give a pity subscription on YouTube. That's it. All right, show us how much you spent on Hololive. Yeah, Mume did once, pretty sure. It literally doesn't count because the metrics that actually matter are profitability and CCV. This is in response to the girl having high subscriber counts. So they're like, okay, we can't attack the subscriber count, so we're gonna attack something else. Then they start pulling out all of these different like subjective metrics. Now they're like, oh no, it's actually CCV that counts. And if they can't attack the CCV, they're like, it's not the CCV that matter, it's the merch sales and how much they're earning. Think that collabers always end up filling in because you are a tourist who will be gone from this board in a month, back to Twitter and the Niji sister website. I will never forgive Niji sisters for destroying the doxing website. That's Nifco. It got shut down. And now 4chan is reporting like an influx of Niji fans. And the doxing website was pretty bad. Like there was a lot of logs being shared there, apparently some really bad stuff. It kept at least some part of the sea away from this board. Raor is actually catching up to her. Surprising considering Elizabeth is literally just spamming karaoke because she has no other entertaining skill. In all honesty though, did we actually even need a new gen? I thought Cover said last time they want to focus more on IP, not new members. I get it, they wanted some AU members, but now surely wasn't the time. They should have been fixing inconsistency in older gens and maybe roll out a new one by the end of the year after older gen's anniversary. I want to comment on this. The reason why Hololive needs new gen is because the older gens are getting less active. And I mean, that just happens when you've been doing content creation for a while. Like it's taxing mentally for some people, you know, and there's things that happen and they can't force the girls to stream. They keep them on the roster. They can't necessarily force them to stream. So to combat that, you need to pump out new gens. It's part of their business model. That's how you keep the wheel on turning. And also you need to keep things fresh, like you need a new product from time to time. No, they said in the report that they would debut several new units this year. Okay, this was the one person that actually spoke like logically, because everybody was like, no, in the report they said they wouldn't debut new stuff. But I don't know why this was like, this idea was propaganded. That was misinformation. I clarified that on Twitter, but no one cared, I guess. But that's not what they said. That was probably a mistranslation, or people didn't read into it properly. They didn't say that they would stop debuting new gens. They said they were slowing down and focusing on building tall instead of building wide. No, they said in the report they would debut several new units this year. This is the first. Notice after Advent, they immediately advertised additions, but didn't for this group, which should be the cutoff point for now. This person's complaining about the number of people. Around 20 is a good number for EN. Really no reason to expand any further until graduation for the older gens start. That might take a while, honestly, though. The only one in EN I really like is at any risk at graduating currently is Ame, and even for her risk feels pretty low. And this is how well they are performing compared the older gens and advanced. So really they're basically seating for no reason. It's funny how the toxic loud minorities are always the biggest jokes. Yeah, well, these people are sad. Like, no matter how much they claim to be, if you're spending so much time on trying to make people miserable on social media, you're just not living a fulfilling life. Okay, so this is some Twitter comments, and it's basically complaining about the girls and guys collabs. The girls get the free 50% sub boost. In return, they earn 99% of the money and viewerships. Seems like they still get shortchanged. And they do that all while their 3D studio, time and resources that was built with the money they earned and in anticipation of their future needs gets pissed away by Yagu's little freak shows. These girls truly doing more with less these days. And again, this is the thing I told you guys earlier about how they feel that the resources are very finite, and they sort of have this feeling that the girls are getting exploited by the guys, that we're wasting resources on the HoloStars, that we should just shut down the branch so we can refocus on the girls. And then they compare the HoloStar numbers with this, I can't tell who this person is. Is that Aski? More people wanted to watch the Zoot playing Train Simulator. And then more people in Gooba's waiting room 5 minutes before it started too. I mean, it's Gora, of course. Yeah, the guys are gonna pull less numbers, but they still pull decent numbers, and it still contributes to the Hololive IP getting shown to other people. It contributes to making the Hololive brand known, maybe, I don't know, to female audience that wouldn't necessarily watch the girls, or to the guys don't play into parasocial relationship that much either. Maybe just a more casual fan base as well. Chumbuts are pretty loyal. Also, you can open multiple tabs. That is true. That is true. It's almost like girl streamers than boy streamers inherently. Any holo branch pulls more CCV than small corpos in indie. True. Again, Hololive has billions. The resources one group takes a tiny... I mean, each group probably pays for itself anyway. The amount of resources each VTuber takes, they probably pay it back with the fees they're giving Hololive. How large is the minority of purists? I consider myself a purist, but I don't see it like this. I just wouldn't watch the stream. I just prefer collabs between people I really like and love. That's fine. I don't know if that's what I would call a purist. A purist is somebody that doesn't like when content creators talk about parasocial relationship, that doesn't like anybody that talks about any negative aspect of the idol culture. Other characteristics is that they despise clippers. They get mad at other holo fans for pointing things. That's a holo purist. See, what they do is look at immediate viewership instead of the rate of change per each VTuber viewership. There's always a natural fall if they're just streaming games for 3 months straight. There's also a natural fall after you debut. Like, you debut always with a lot of viewers and then it goes down. I think it's amusing. These people act like you have to watch the collab. If you don't like it, watch the next stream. Also true, holo purists are wild. In the interview that I found with the unicorn, he kind of says that if his or she would collab with a male without announcing it first, he would take this as a huge disrespect. And what he would do is ask him and his friends to voice it on Twitter. So I think one important characteristic of a unicorn, for the word to be really negative in the way everybody's using it, is probably that they have to voice their displeasure. I think if you just prefer watching the girls with no other male partner on stream and you never voice it and you never comment about it, you're probably not what qualifies a quote-unquote unicorn in the VTuber sense. I'm gonna show you the full picture of this. So there was a clip going around with this thumbnail as a clickbait where she says, ew, a man. She's joking, like she's being sarcastic there. And people are not necessarily taking it as a joke in the comment section. And then there's some infighting with some unicorns and some other people. And then the unicorns are mad. And so the people in this comment section are criticizing her for multiple reasons. But also this guy is mad because she whined about Celsius and the metric system. Isn't that insane? I kind of wish holo fans were like FaZe fans. I don't want to put one fan base over another. There's bad apples and good apples in each fan base. And the Hololive fan base is very wide, so it encompasses a wide brush of people, and the more people you touch, like the more people you have in your sphere of influence, the more weirdos you're gonna get to. Let's read this comment. So alienating everyone outside the US by whining about Celsius and the metric system, now whining about man. It's like Gigi is trying to alienate everyone one group at a time. Currently her fan base is female Americans. What's next? Going to start whining about straight people? Like, this guy just got his panties in a twist. Yeah, the CCV is fine. People are numb to it. I feel like people are so used to seeing really high numbers that they think 1K live viewers is bad. Bro, it's not bad. That's like in the 1%. I think if you have over 100 average CCV, you're still one of the 1%, no? So some people claimed this was sexism. This guy was being reasonable. He's like, you know, apparently people don't know what a joke is. It's just a Holostars fan being pissy and looking for an excuse to attack the girls. I mean, for me, it's less about the joke itself and more about the fact that if like a Holostar said something like, ew, a woman, or hyped up the boys in their chats and acted more excited about them being there than the girls, it would be a much bigger deal for a lot of people. Just a constant pushing of the narrative that only men should always be able to take it. At least in broader, more professional settings like Hololive rather than indie, then that doesn't go both ways. Let me pull up the clip actually, because I feel like I'm not giving you guys the full context.
Ladybug hat. Does this lady make me lucky? Oh, to be a little ladybug. You see, my desirability as a cat has gone up tenfold. So, when a beautiful woman sees me, ew, man, when a beautiful woman sees me, they're more likely to pick me up. And then they're gonna be like, wow, kitty, you are so wonderful. What am I pulling? Quit yanking my leg. Oh my god, a woman. Okay, look at my hat. Look at my hat. Oh, sandwich.
So she really, it's a 52-second clip, so she really doesn't say anything bad. That's what they're mad about. That's what they're mad about. That's crazy. This guy is replying to that comment. This is the first place your brain goes when stars are not even brought up in this clip. Why are stars fans so fast to play victim even in plays with no mention of them? Hello, Rusia 2.0 or female Vox. Better have insurance for what you started and who you pander to. Hi Gigi, hope you're doing. I guess I'll just leave then. Fine, no subscription for you then. What if I said I identified as a non-binary but was still into anime women? Had to delete my earlier comment because 2 unicorns came and started causing drama just for one said dumb comment. Oh well, it's Helmir. Helmir, you'll often see him under like every clip or every comment fighting people in the comments. Like that dude just spends the whole day on the computer. Once you all know the Holostar's anti-unicorn Helmir, his Oshi should apply to Niji Sanji since he is no different from those terminally online stalking creeps who shill on the Black Company. Guy keeps going to my comment everywhere he goes like a bitter ex-girlfriend. If this loser could even so much have a sane-minded lady glance at him for more than 3 seconds without looking disgusted. Anti-unicorn being butthurt again, lol. You compared her to Vox Lamau, you had to delete your earlier oh, that's his comment. Hello Rushia 2.0 female Vox. Well, this guy's take was also dumb. You had to delete your earlier comment because you tried to say Gigi was being sexist and people called you out for being a Hololive anti. You do nothing but talk shit about good Hololive fans in clips while insulting the girls. How does he know that? Does he see his comment history? Okay, and I found some other stuff. So there's this unicorn blog called Unicorn Society. It's got 61 followers. It's not popping off. But I love their bio. It's called Holostars was a mistake. And it's all just okay. This is one of the posts that I read earlier. It's all just cope and some weird tinfoil theory crafting. And here he goes into a spiel about he doesn't understand why there's a Holostars Twitter, but there's no Hololive Twitter. But there is a Hololive Twitter, so I'm not sure what he's ranting about. When you saw the title, you probably thought, no way it exists. Somebody said it's probably a joke, but this guy, I've seen him ranting on Twitter too, the owner of this account. When you saw the title, you probably thought, no way it exists. However, the Hololive Twitter account that you all look at every day also advertises Holostars as a matter of course, right? Oh, basically he's saying that the official Twitter account advertises the Holostars, but then the Holostars also have their own Twitter account that doesn't advertises the girls. Based on this question, I looked into the history of the current HoloPro account and found some clear abnormalities. So far, everything is normal. Here's where things get weird. December 2, 2019. Hololive, Holostars, and Inonaka Music will be unified under the name Hololive Production. Press release, the content are here. The Hololive production framework is conveniently only for Holostars. Both Hololive and Holostars are in the same HoloPro group. I've seen so many people say this, however, I just feel uncomfortable. This is because I feel that Hololive production was created by management to suit Holostars. Huh? I even feel like it was done just to get people to say both Hololive and Holostars are in the same HoloPro group. Why do I feel that Hololive production is only convenient for Holostars? This time I've written an explanation on this note. Well, at least this guy is harnessing his creativities into something, even though he is Delulu. I mean, at least he is writing more than tweets. I'll give him that. It was originally a different office. Hololive was founded in 2017 and Holostars in 2019. They each have their own offices and there's no framework called Hololive Productions. The merger of agencies is too convenient for Holostars. This is essentially a merger of the agencies of Hololive and Holostars. Convenient point 1, the name Hololive Production, freeloading on the Hololive brand. If Hololive and Holostars were combined, the normal name would be something like Holo Production, right? But for some reason, the stars element has disappeared and the name has become Hololive Production, which just uses the Hololive side. This will allow them to be found in searches for Hololive and make them more easily recognized as being under the Hololive umbrella. Holostar streams openly use the Hololive tag, and in the key visual for Expo 2024, Holostars are wearing shirts with Hololive printed on them. But it's the company they work for! Why? Why not? Why not? In short, the benefit is that they can write for free on the Hololive brand. Naturally, the only one who benefits are the Holostars. Alright, so, yeah. So this is a post in the Holostars subreddit about Elizabeth. I'm gonna go over it quickly and then we'll look at the interview. Okay, having Olo EN girls be so blatantly and excitedly pro Holostars EN specifically is downright magical. From the moment I realized that it was indeed a drawing of play on her debut stream, I was shocked at the ovaries of this woman. From there, it only got better. Frequent interaction and bands with everyone on Twitter, the cover of Unlucky Fuck. ERB is amazing for this, but damn, it's bittersweet. Imagine if more of the EN girls could have done this before. To be clear, I'm not blaming the girls. I know several are introverts and prefer to stick to their own spaces, but you can't convince me that fear of unicorn or retaliation didn't play a big factor. I'm not talking about the girls and guy collabs or covers. I'm talking regular Twitter interactions. Gerard still gets shit from that crowd. Huge respects to Gerald for feeling this since day one. Seriously, even on stream, it sometimes feels like the stars EN and the girls are low-key afraid to acknowledge each other. Huge respect to Callie and Crony for battling the unicorns for the entirety of Holo Salt. And I'm kind of sad that the kind of cross-gender branch vibing and collab seems to have been a one-time thing. Yes, I know Bae and Beto collab for Barbie, it's not really the same vibe, you know? Huge respect to the ID girls, especially Oli, for being really supportive with the regular bands. Then he did an edit. To reiterate, for those who struggle with reading comprehension, I'm not blaming the girls for the unicorns attitude, nor am I shaming them for choosing to avoid dealing with the backlash they undoubtedly get for acknowledging the guys in pretty much any positive manner. And yes, unicorns are a real and documented issue in the EN fandom. It's not just JP. Crony had to make a whole statement about it, and Gerard got shit from wishing Gora a happy birthday. I'm not saying that the girls should be interacting with the boys. People should only interact with those that they want to and vibe with. I'm saying that there shouldn't be so much blatant tension around the boys and girls acknowledging each other at all. Whether that's a happy birthday tweet to coworker or offhandedly mentioning each other's stream when it's relevant. There's no collab begging or hate here. Yeah, base post, and he seemed, you know, he wasn't blaming the girls either for not collabing with the guys, which I liked. One last thing. Let's go over this, then we'll look at the interview. How it feels as a fan of both stars and live with ERB here now. So this person is a multi-fandom, and fans that are part of multiple fandoms sometimes struggle because everybody's very tribalistic and people feel like they can't love multiple Oshis at the same time, especially not from different agencies for some reason. This guy is expressing his happiness at seeing both of his favorite fandoms collide because Elizabeth is interacting with the Star guys, and this dude just barges in like a hair on a soup, and he's like, it's a naive mindset. You support someone not for who they are, but for your supposed culture war. Bro, the dude is not making like a gender identity comment or even a political one. Your mental health already deteriorating, much like the quote-unquote unicorn that you think about so much. Please be normal. Well, right back at you. And projecting a lot. So a lot of the purists, they heavily dislike when unicorns get called out. They heavily dislike when, for example, I make a video on parasocial relationships. They heavily dislike when there's any mention of idol culture. Basically, they prefer to just put their hands over their ears and be like, la 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 la, I can't hear anything. No, 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 no. This doesn't exist. I'm in my la la land. So instead of being the perpetrators of these negative things, of these people who are shedding or are showing the fan base in a negative light, they get mad at the people calling them out for it, which is so insane to me. I don't know how to explain it. Rara got my heart, but ERB has my utmost respect. Never seen any EN female talent embrace the stars as much as she has, and you know, with the infestation of unicorns, that this is a big fucking deal. Somebody else replied, not gonna lie, I think we should normalize bullying against unicorns. Besides some ID member and a small amount of JP and EN members, ERB might be one of the most open in interacting with the stars. And then this dude, you know what? You're no better than those quote-unquote unicorn you are fighting against. Culture warrior type kids, and not to mention the projection. Do you even interact with any other woman other than your mom? And this guy is actually... It's funny because he's like, stop Stop talking about this. Stop talking about this. You're making the fan base look bad. You're making the fan base look bad, guys. Dude, you're making the fan base look bad, and you're actually making the Gura fan base look bad by having that name in your name. Jumbuds. Look at this. So he replies to this person again. Look at this big boy over here acting like he know how to act like an adult. How about just support the talent without inciting any kind of fanfare? Aren't you doing a fanfare right now? Don't make me remind you of your embarrassing incident a while ago. I don't know what he's talking about here. This is all the same tweet, so. Here's an Azehara. Ernul, that's a unicorn, is a fucking spurg waiting for the day when the talents calls them out on their toxic shit. And then this person, probably one of their friends or one of their alt accounts, they got very low follower count. What should talent give attention to a no-name schizo with 300 followers? I mean, right back at you. What, like, with that argument, why would somebody give attention to your comment then? To me, this tweet is a problem. That was my tweet calling out the unicorns. Because it gives these antis a megaphone. As you see, this tweet was seen by 200 plus K people instead of 5 to 7K people. But what did I expect from a drama tuber? Money's tight. Oh, figures. Okay, I don't make any money from posting on Twitter, dumbass. I make like 20 bucks. And then he posts a clip of Azehara. Why does ex-corpo VTuber dislike? Like, of course, because she's spoken about ex-corpo, that's a bad clip. And for them, clippers are also cloud chasers, so they're bad for the community. But instead of blaming the people doing the bad actions, they blame us. That's wild. But very good reasoning. You're extremely intelligent. Which is funny because talents constantly promote people to clip them. Exactly, like as a talent, you want people to clip you. Alright, so this person does a shout out to Nerissa for telling her opinion on clips and how she wishes they would be. I'll say that a huge reason I fell away from Hololive was most clips and the comment section of those clips combined with not having enough time to watch full streams. Content creators and clippers can be symbiotic. Work done for free can lead to a few gigs or even jobs. Yeah, and if you monetize the clips, then you make money. It is symbiotic. True. It's honestly as valuable as donating money. Like the people that are like even the people that are doing comments, stream starts here or timestamp, and they divide different key moments. That is so useful. Like the people that put the timestamps in the comment, that is so useful. That is worth as much as a sub or a dono, for sure, for sure, for sure. Same thing with people that creates memes of VTubers. That's super useful too. That's free advertising. Clippers are pretty awful in the last couple of years. The clip watchers aren't any better. The Suicide thing last year comes to mind most of all. That was like a 20-minute clip. What was wrong with that? In that clip, Suicide said everything. It was like a 20-minute clip. And then she goes on to say, it seems like I've been the internet plating for a while. Please don't mind. Don't get into arguments with them. It's totally fine if you don't want to watch me till the bad comments die down. Something along those lines. She handled it very well and everybody thought so. But from the unicorn's perspective, it was handled in a completely other way, I suppose. Like, talent can even say in the clip and the comment replying will state the exact opposite. It's really damaging for the girls. Well, I wouldn't say it's really damaging for the girls, but I do agree that sometimes you say one thing and the comments in the video say the opposite, but that's because people come in with their preconceived notions, and sometimes even when you show them facts or screenshots, it's not gonna make them change their mind. But that shouldn't reflect badly on the girls. That's not even on them. They're not even the one doing the clip. Clipping, unfortunately, turning from passion to advertise and support the talents to outright leeching YouTube revenue and driving drama for clicks. I think most of them operate from third world countries, no offense, but it is what it is. So there was this discussion, another discussion around a clip. This clip is Corone and Aski bond over struggling at a game of, and I watched the clip because I wanted to see if actually something bad happened, but no, it was just them struggling at a game, and somehow people got mad because they got clipped struggling at the game, and that's bad because you're showing them in a bad light. But it's like, people don't watch VTubers because they're necessarily good at games. So the clipper in question shows this mean comment that he received. You should be clipping Pecora instead of these failures. And then this unicorn replies, honestly, not sure the point of spreading this kind of thing. So I've hit it some name. I don't usually hide the name, but these guys are like attention seekers and I don't want to give them the attention they deserve, so I hit the name. Honestly, not sure the point of spreading this kind of thing. You're just giving them attention, and it's very possible they're not even a fan of Pecora to begin with, and their intent is simply to make her fans look bad, start trouble. Okay, but he wanted to vent, bro. You can't stop people from showing, like, again, it's this obsession with not letting people, they want to control the image of the Hololive fan base so bad. They feel like showing a case of one fan acting obnoxious is reflecting on the rest of the fan base. There's no gray area with them, it's all black and white. The clipper in question is just posting this for clout. He don't care whether this is a troll or not, or whether this damaged the reputation of the talents or not. He need them views for his channel. How is this damaging the reputation of these talents? They have nothing to do with this.